Good afternoon. I'm here with Susan Carney at Riverdale High School. Good afternoon,
Good
Susan.
Good afternoon. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for sharing a cup of coffee with me here.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
My pleasure. Susan, tell us what you teach here.
I teach English here. I have 9th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade.
Great. You get them when they're young and you send them
And
out.
see them, and sometimes I'll see them more than one year, which is wonderful.
I love that.
Yes,
yeah,
I love that
cool.
too.
So, how long have you been here for?
16 years.
Great. So
yes.
you've been here for a while.
Yes.
And in our conversations, we talked a lot about using an interdisciplinary approach to teaching English.
Yes.
And you really impressed me with what you were talking about. Tell us a little bit about why you take such an interdisciplinary approach.
Sure. Well, when I think back to what made me want to teach English, what made me love English is that it felt relevant to me. I would open a book and find this magical passage and go, wow, that's just like the real world, or that's something that I've always thought, you know, and I want my students to have that wow moment, you know. So I like to give them novels or nonfiction, anything like that, that resonates for them and makes them think about something outside.
Cool.
So that's kind of, I put that into all of my classes, really, especially the 12th grade program, which we were talking about.
This. Yeah, this is an awesome class.
We have a medicine and literature class here at Riverdale, which is kind of unique.
Very unique.
And I'm excited to be teaching it this year. And it really is designed for that STEM kid, the young person who says, I really want to be a doctor or a nurse or a physical therapist. I'm going to be in the medical profession somehow. I don't know how yet, but they love science. They like reading science. They're interested in it. And you know, sometimes they think that there's not much in the humanities for them anymore. And the humanities get talked down quite a bit too. So I wanted to give them something that spoke to them.
That's great.
So in medicine and lit, we look at all kinds of things that we have, you know, the major life decisions that even if they change their mind and they decide, I'm not going to be a doctor or a nurse, most of us, some of our biggest decisions are going to be made in a hospital bed,
That's true.
in a doctor's office, or sitting beside
all
someone
gonna be
we
there at
love.
some point.
Exactly, someone we love in that hospital
That's
bed.
great relevance.
So whether they change their mind or not, I think it's going to be relevant. So we look at, you know, the serious decisions, ethics, medical ethics, problems in the medical community right now. A big thing in our a campaign is healthcare, cost of prescription drugs, all of that stuff. Let's read about that. Let's figure out what's causing all of that. So bias in medicine, why are the health outcomes for some people different from other people? Who gets ignored in healthcare? These are real issues that they will have to face.
Well, that's great. I love the idea that you're taking the kid who says they're a science kid, but showing them they're not just a science kid. There's literature in here, there's reading in here, there's writing in here, there's research in here.
The best moment for me is a young man who came in after our first book, When Breath Becomes Air, which is a beautiful book. He came in and he sat down and he said, that is the first book I've been given in school that I was forced to read for school that I liked. And I thought,
like it was for him.
This is it. That's exactly why you do it.
That's amazing. That gives us a lot to think about. I think this interdisciplinary approach needs to be a part of like the conversation more to reach the 21st century kid. You know?
Absolutely.
Every kid could be an English kid because everybody's interested, and English can, you know, reading covers all topics.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
You know, and I try to bring in history. I try to bring in current events. My AP students actually just finished an essay they read in 1984. And the essay was for a New York Times Learning Network contest, and it was, how does something you've studied in school connect to the real world?
Sure. Perfect.
That book spoke to them. They, you know, some of them saw in it isolation and how the main characters are all isolated from one another and don't trust each other, and what that does to a society. Some of them saw, the surveillance state that we live in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So they made beautiful connections.
That's awesome. That's great. I think that's so relevant. Well, thank you for sharing a drink with me here.
Sure.
And to Riverdale.
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!